everybody, welcome back to the channel. We got a little bit of a different setup today, no bells and whistles for my usual videos on post-game reactions or series reactions. But in this video, what I wanted to do was I wanted to give a reaction to kind of do we use the term disappointment at the Avs getting swept by Vegas 4-0. I think what kind of stands out to this series, and I don't want to use like the Knicks versus Cavs game one and say that that was a crutch for the whole series. I think there were two games. We're not going to really dive into game four too much because it was 2-1. It was a low scoring game. Vegas scored first, 1-0, and then it didn't take till the third quarter period, my bad, for the Avs so that game's a game of itself. But I think the two biggest games, obviously, we got to talk about game three, and then we got to talk about game one. I think game two was also real big as well, but it was different. It was different because I'm not going to lie. I picked the Avalanche. I picked the Avalanche in 6 because there was just something about, I don't fall into the hype of like the President Cup trophy, and all that where, no team since the Blackhawks, But I think if there was a team that could have won it, I think this team was a lot more qualified than last year's Jets. I can't remember who the President Trophy winner was in 24. The Rangers. It was the Rangers. I think the Rangers and the Bruins, probably the most qualified. Like, that Rangers squad, I think, was so much better than this Avalanche team. And you could kind of feel it. And it's kind of, you look back on this whole playoffs where it's like, well, you swept the Kings, and then you had a weird, wild game one against Minnesota. And then it's like, then to show for what in the Western Conference Finals? Because, you got swept? What is this about? And I think at the end of the day, you got to put it on goaltending. You got to put it on defense. You also got to put it on offense too, like scoring chances. I wouldn't put Cale Makar's absence as a big let's use this as an excuse. It's weird. It kind of shows the kind of momentum and the wagon that Vegas has turned into. And you know what? This might sound crazy. Maybe the length of how Utah was 6 games, Anaheim was 6 games, like Vegas was getting tested, they were a little bit more ready versus Colorado, where it's like, well, guys, we've played 9 games. Look at where we're at. Versus Vegas, who played a handful of extras. I don't know. You could look at it, but I don't know. I think the goaltending in game one, you got to give it to Vegas, which I've talked about that in a stream before. And then the other thing with game, when you fast forward, because again, I thought Avalanche would bounce back even the series of defend home ice because they had been undefeated to that point on home ice. I thought they'd bounce back and win game 2. Then we go to game 3, where the Avalanche, they need to answer. There's no more excuses. They've lost home ice advantage in this series, best of 7. They're up 3-0, and then they blow it. And then they end up losing that game 5-3. I think that was the kind of the final where it's like, okay, you know what? If they can extend it to 5, give it back to Colorado, maybe, win that one, maybe get to game 6. We knew statistic-wise and history-wise, we knew the 3-0 deficit was not on their side, and we knew they weren't going to come back. I think, and I kind of made mention on this, my game 4 reaction was, we know McKinnon's a little banged up, see if he can go, give Wedgwood a break, put Blackwood on net, which I think was actually pretty beneficial, because he only allowed 2 goals. But and it's kind of weird because you can feel the same way too with Hill and Hart for Vegas, but again, you ride the hot hand, you win games. It's very beneficial. Could Colorado have done better with Blackwood on net? That's yet to be determined. But I think it's shocking, just shocking. Like with how dominant the Avs were, to watch them get swept, it's like, huh? So yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, it's just one of those things. But then yeah, after them losing Game 3, it was kind of like writings on the wall of like they're not coming back, but like let's just see again if they can build, win Game 4, win Game 5, like they can build and they can stack wins. But Vegas right now is a wagon. I'm probably gonna have to make that video on how winning culture matters. I made it for Jack Eichel. I'm probably gonna make it for Mitch Marner. If he wins the Stanley Cup. And Vegas is doing something that I haven't seen in a while, which is different teams, different eras where they had a team that could compete, you know, in 2017 and 2018 and 2019. And then you had the teams that could compete in the bubble and then post-bubble where, you know, the summer of 23 when they competed. Like just Vegas has been a weird, consistent team. But anyways, guys, I've rambled long enough, giving my thoughts and opinions about the Avalanche losing. We'll see. You know, their big stars are gonna stay. But yeah, huge overreaction would be head coach being put on the hot seat. But come on, no, that's not happening. But another hot seat, and like a hot take would be Makar requests a trade. I know that's not going to happen, but this is the NHL. We could have a huge whoa kind of trade to kind of compare the NHL to the NBA. But anyways, guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts. Are you disappointed? Are you surprised? You big Vegas fan? You big Avalanche fan? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.